Hi, welcome to Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people. My name is Aaron, and I'll be taking you on a short journey through Psalm 57. We'll start with just reading it. Have mercy on me, O God, have mercy on me, for in you my soul takes refuge. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed. I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills His purpose for me. He sends from heaven and saves me, rebuking those who hotly pursue me. God sends His love and faithfulness. I am in the midst of lions. I lie among ravenous beasts, men whose teeth are spears and arrows, whose tongues are sharp words. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They spread a net for my feet. I was bowed down in distress. They dug a pit in my path, but they have fallen into themselves. My heart is steadfast, O God, my heart is steadfast. I will sing and make music. Awake my soul, awake harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. For great is your love, reaching to the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. Psalm 57. Let me give you a little context. David wrote this, and when he wrote it, he was on the run from Saul, and he was hiding in a cave. I have never been in fear of my life from a world leader and his army and had to hide in a cave. I'd say that might be the epitome of a high-stress, hopeless situation in someone's life. And more than likely, most of you who are watching this haven't had that level of stress. But we all have had certain stresses, things that overwhelm us, things that make us worry, things that bring us fear. So even though we may not be at that David level of stress, maybe truly fearing for our actual lives, we may worry about how we're going to pay the bills, or we may worry about, taking care of a family member. There are things that just come about in our lives that's overwhelming. So let's take a few key points from David here and see how he faced great fear and stress. In the beginning, he says that he takes refuge in God and praises Him. And that's first and foremost. Right out of the gate, have mercy on me, God. My soul takes refuge. Refuge in the shadow of your wings. Like, he immediately turns to God, knowing that there's so much coming up against him, and yet his first focus is on God. And he knows there's a promise, because he says it right here, that God sends His love and His faithfulness. God never stops loving us. God is always faithful. We can't say that about ourselves. Sometimes we don't love the way we're supposed to. Sometimes we aren't faithful to friends. We're definitely not always faithful to God Himself. But we can rest on the promises from this book that God is. He's steadfast, He's loving, He's faithful. He will always be there for His people. And David said it clearly right here. The stress there was unbelievable. He compared his enemies to lions, to beasts, to people with tongues like swords. Again, I've never faced a lion. I don't want to face a lion. I have a feeling I would cower in fear, or maybe try to find a cave to hide in. And hopefully there's not a bear in the cave. So knowing that David saw this and still had one thought, to give glory and honor. He says it, be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. It isn't just, God, please save me. God, get me out of this situation. It's, God, I want your glory to show. And, those of you who know me, one of my favorite parts, right here, he says, I will sing and I will make music. Like, in complete, hopeless despair, he says, we have to give praise. And we do it through singing, through making music. It reminds me of Paul in Acts 16. He was in prison with Silas. And there could have been a lot of things going on that night, but one thing that Scripture says is they were singing praises and hymns. And the Lord was faithful. David, he wasn't perfect. And neither are we. But what he does tell us and what we know is the Lord was perfect then, and he's still perfect now. And he hears our cries. He hears our concerns. He takes care of our people. A few words of wisdom to wrap this up. Our faith is usually inconsistent, but the Lord's faith is never changing. We're not always the ones making the right choices, but God will always make the right choice for his people. We just have to give him the credit. Another thing, singing, praising, and speaking to the Lord should be our first step, not our last-ditch effort. Before you set your feet on the ground in the morning, you should be talking to the Lord. When you have the opportunity, you should sing his praises. Even in the deepest, darkest moments, I know it sounds wild sometimes. I'm a failure at it myself. But our best choice is to give honor, glory, and praise to the Lord. And finally, when faith is present, fear begins to fade away. If we can keep our faith and focus on the Lord, fear, stress, and anxiety will continue to taper down. It doesn't always go away. New things pop up. Again, probably not being chased by a world leader in their army, but with things going on, it's easy to allow fear and stress and hopelessness come around us. But if we quit looking at all those things and set our sights solely on the Lord, he says it clear, everything else will be added unto you. So let that faith increase so that fear can decrease. Thanks for spending time with us. Hope to see you Sunday.